So it's me, so I'm back. I'm here. I just wanted to talk for a little bit about some stuff, that's going on. Um, it seems like the um the people are mad. We're gonna get into it. Hold on, this guy's playing some music. I may have to try and see if I can get into the backyard and start talking. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, so like what I was saying. Um, I don't know who it is, but I think it's the government. They done made the whole thing hate man. So the whole thing, I mean the whole thing of population of people hate man. So I mean it was bad enough already. It's bad enough already. You know, you had people mad as hell already. They're viciously, violently angry, but now it's worse. You can see it, like, and you can even hear it. Like when I'm in the hospital, and shit. You have people saying they want to come out the hospital, they want to leave the hospital. They want to leave. You have people banging on walls. You have people banging on walls. Doors, they're slamming doors. They're slamming doors and banging on walls. And it's crazy, but like, I mean, I don't know if it's that Damien person. I'm not too sure who it is, but if it's him, the one who's making everyone hate me, I don't know if it's that Damien person. Because he's mad because I did his instrumentals over and over again. Some of them, majority of them, I done better than him. So he's mad about that. He's hated and he's upset, and that's why he's making um people um hate me. You know, I think he's the main one behind it. So that movie has to be based on a true story. The the Omen movie I'm guessing it's probably based on a true story. I think it is based on a true story. I'm not too sure. I think it is because at the ending, something pops up around the ending of the movie. Like, I don't know if you know, but like, like when a movie's based on a true story, it would have something like you see like some words would pop up at the ending, or sometimes even at the beginning. But you would see you and it would tell you, and it would say it was based on a true story, like it actually happened. So I don't know if that person is really real and it's based on a true story. I don't know, but yeah, man, the man, the man, you know, the man, is, yeah, like making people hate me. I mean, everything, you know, he's making everything hate me, and being very racist and shit like that, so I know what his problem is. I think it has something to do with that FL Studio thing and me making banging joints. He must have he must have feel some type of way about it and must have gotten mad, you know. That I did his shit better, Yeah, I did his shit better, Because I did his shit better, he's mad, man, He's real hurt about it, So, yeah, that's that's what it is. Yeah, man, hold on. There's something. Yeah, so there's a noisy jet around, I can't even talk because it's so loud, man. yeah, so yeah, somebody's behind this. You know what I mean? You have those brown skin Negro people getting mad and hating on me and shit. You have them hating on me and getting mad and hating on me and shit. You have the dark skinned Negro people hating too as well and getting mad at me too as well. So African people, it's crazy, man. It's just hating, you know. And you have that racist Asian dude, being racist too. He never wanted me work with orchestra, but he wants to copy my soulful, And I said, no, you can't do that, man. I said, no, you can't do that. You gotta go do your own instrumental, man. I would say, nah, man. That shit can't fly, man. That shit can't fly around here like that, man. Because when I was doing orchestra, everything was getting mad, man. Everything was getting mad when I was doing those orchestra instrumentals. The whole thing got mad, man. The whole thing. You know, the whole thing got mad, man. The whole thing got mad. You know. The whole thing got mad when I'm doing those orchestra instrumentals. Everybody was getting mad. The whole thing. The whole thing was getting mad, man. You know. The whole thing. You know. Then you have these angry people. They're just angry. They don't even know of a sense of danger. All they feel is they're so angry until they're not even scared of nothing. Even if they're to get chopped up or get stabbed up by demons or get eaten by a giant spider. Or be burning for eternity. They don't even care about it. So I know you have that what's his name again? Street Voyeur trying to burn trying to burn me, because our good people. I'm gonna say good-hearted people. I know he's trying to burn us when he should go burn those angry people up, man. Go fuck them up, man, and go put them in hell and go burn them. Because I was once an angry person, until I changed my life, and I was once a mean, cold-hearted person, probably worse than anybody, man. If I had a weapon, Warren would have been using it, probably going in and out of jail and killing people, what they call it again, attempted murder, shooting people, killing them, man. Warren would be shooting people, killing them, and everyone would have been saying, oh, Ron's an angry person, we don't like angry people, and everybody would have hated angry people. But I don't know why he's blazing up on me for, when his people were the ones that was constantly targeting me every single day, every single like 5 minutes, every single like fucking hour, or 4 hours apart, or 2 hours, his people was bothering me. His people was bothering me. His people was harassing me, stalking me, scoffing me where I'm going. And they're being very angry. Like what I said again, and I was angrier than them, but unfortunately, it couldn't endure to the end, man. Around those people, man. Those people kept going and going, maybe because they're angrier people. And they worked in a big group. They teamed up, The whole thing teamed up, Yeah, man. The whole thing teamed up. The whole entire thing teamed up together to destroy one man that probably would have been more important. That probably would have been a better the world's most best producer if it wasn't for that fuck up to happen with those racist white people. So you have them playing as certain people. They can't talk with their natural voice and let me hear how they naturally sound like, and shit like that. You know, they're not talking to me with their natural voice because they know how to get indestructible. They know how indestructible I will get if I was hearing them be racist and they're talking like a white person. I will get indestructible and I will probably get real mad. You know. So what do? They play as brown skinned Negro people. They play as black people, and I really think it was actually real a cult. There were some black people in the cult too. You know, some brown skinned people, some brown skinned Negro people, some dark skinned Negro people in the cult. You know, I knew that they were in a cult. You know, I knew that they were in a cult. You know, it probably was a real cult, but they were saying that how lots of them left and came out of the cult because the white people in there, the Indian people in there, and Asian and Mexicans that being really racist. So they came out of the cult because they're being too racist or something like that's what I was hearing, you know. So they left. All the black people came out of the cult. So I was saying like like this don't make no sense. Why did they come out and then they're trying to say they're trying to help people, they're trying to help me or something like that's what I was hearing. But I said no, they weren't trying to help anybody. You know, I said they weren't trying to help anybody, man. You know, I was saying they weren't trying to help anybody, you know? That's not helping nobody. You don't make it first about killing them and threatening them and shit like that. You don't do that, you know? That's not helping, you know? That's not helping. You don't make threats of killing them. You don't make threats on about anybody, man, you know? That has no friends, that has no backup, whatever it's called, you know? You don't make any threats. You know, you don't do that. You don't make any threats. You know, but I don't know. But the man. I feel sudden now likes angry people. But before 2012, when I was mad hardcore and I was mad hardcore angry, the man did not like it me, man. The man did not like it that he put me in hell and let me burn in hell. Each time when I got real indestructible, he put me in hell and let me burn in hell. Each time when I got indestructible, he kept putting me down there and 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 putting me down there, putting me down there, putting me down there. You know, he kept doing that. And I think so the dog got access from that producer too, the demonic producer, you know. They got the door I mean to the spirit world for them to put me in hell. From yeah, those I know what they are, if they're demons or whatever, and like I said again, that she's a good person too. You know, the door got opened up. You know, from listening to that producer's instrumentals, they're demonic. You know, they're demonic instrumentals. You know, they're demonic. You know, I I won't be listening to them again. You know, I said I'll never be listening to that group again at all. Maybe when COVID dies down and there's no more COVID and there's no more um viruses and everything just dies down, you know. I said maybe I will probably listen to him again, probably. But right now I'm not listening to him, you know, because the man done made the whole thing of people, him also too, the same person I'm talking about. He's the next one that made the whole thing turn against man's. You know, that made the whole thing turn against man's. Him, that Damien person, and that what's that guy called again? Tiario, yeah, him as well too. Him as well also too as well. You know, they made the whole thing turn against man's. You know, and I said, no, Rohan, do not, do not do anything, you know. Do not listen to people's instrumentals, you know, that are demonic producers, you know, that worship Satan, because it can open up a door and make you get possessed, man. It can make you pro- probably burn, you know, probably burn in hell, man. You know, so I said you best not do that. I said, Rohan, you best not do that. Yeah, that's what I said. I said, Ron, you best not do that. Cause I said it can make you burn. And it was his instrumental that was making me burn, you know, or that was making me have nightmares too. Also, it was his instrumentals, and I said I'm not listening to him. So yeah, that's what it is, man. And that demonic music box called FL Studio, it makes people burn. It makes people burn. You know what I mean? It makes people burn. You know? Yeah, that's what it does. It makes people burn. That's what that music box does. You know? It makes people burn. It makes demons get on people. And I said, you gotta stop. I said, Run, you gotta stop, man. You gotta don't listen to no one. Just make your own instrumentals. You know, make sure you're not working with nothing evil. You know. Yeah, what happened to hybrid, man? What happened to hybrid is epic. I go to Epic Music. I don't see any new hybrid. They stopped making hybrid. I don't know what happened. There's people that used to make hybrid, and they stopped making hybrid. They mostly make sci-fi, epic music, like those meditation types. But I don't see, I don't see, hybrid anymore. They stopped making them. But I'm gonna run and stuff and get out of here. I want to get out of here. Yeah, man, they made the whole thing hit, man. The whole thing on Jezebel. Yes, that next one too. Jezebel. Jezebel's the next one. Oh yeah, and that old lady. Well, the old lady's not here now. She left. I don't think she's coming back because her leg is broken. I don't think she's coming back here. I don't think she's coming back. She's not coming back here because her room was upstairs. Or either she does come back, she would have to go in the room right below me, right under. The room right below, right under. If she's coming back, she would have to go in that room. She would have to go in the room right under, right below. But it was, oh yeah, and that Robert that Robert, that dark skinned lady called Robert, and the other racist Indian one, the Indian lady, the racist Indian lady, it was them also too were the ones that was witchcrafting me and exorbitant shit. It was them also too as well that was causing major problems. I think so. The government moved these agents in the home. They moved these agents in the home, right, to start mega problems. They move agents in the home to start problems. Like they're not even real um house. What they call them again? They're not even really tenants. You know. They're not real people. They're not people that actually live in a home, and they actually put there to live in a home. No, the government put them in there. Put them in there. Either if they do move in, they make them sell out to them, and they put them in a home. You know, maybe they get released from the hospital to 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 join the government. You know, to join the government. You know, yeah, man. So it's it's um it's um it's it's the the government who's doing this, man. It's the government who's doing this. It's the government. yes, the government is doing this, so yeah, but I'm gonna be out. I know what's wrong with them. Why do they do this shit for it to Rohan? They're constantly getting mad and I'm making my music, they're getting mad and shit. You know? They're getting mad, they're getting upset talking about they're gonna leave and they really do for true do leave. And I say, why they getting mad? Why is everyone getting mad? It's not demonic. I'm not making demonic instrumentals. I'm not working with rock or anything like that or epic music or whatever. I stopped working with epic music. I stopped working with rock. I don't even go rock. I don't even go near rock. You know, one doesn't even go near rock. One does not go near rock. You know, yeah, man. One does not even go near rock or yeah, man, rock. You know, I don't go near rock, man. I don't go near rock. So I don't know what the problem is, man. What's with this hating stuff, You know. But it was them the one that's hating all those people, man. That's hating, moving in agents in a group home, they're talking shit. Whether they might watch me, spite on me, and I said the group home's automatically it's not a real group home you're in, man. The owner has to be an agent, man. He the food, the money that he's probably getting is probably from your own pocket, your own money. Maybe all the rest of them in there is not even paying rent. Maybe all the rest of them is not even paying rent. Did you have the old black dude? They have the old black dude sleeping with the Indian lady, constantly sleeping with the Indian lady. This guy with withdraw 60,000. I heard it on his the what they call that voice thing again. Um, I forgot what they call that voice thing on the machine when you check your messages. But I heard the operator. Yeah, that's what it's called. The operator said, "Oh, you withdraw 60,000," and I said, "This guy really withdraw 60,000 to go sleep with a prostitute? You paid a prostitute 60,000 to sleep with when he could have found a bitch or another prostitute, another bitch to sleep with that probably could give you a decentable sex performance or a better one. This guy goes and withdraw 60,000, 60 fucking thousand. This guy withdraw for a bitch. And he keeps on going at the hospital, sleeping with the bitch, thinking that he's to look younger. There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing. It's not her who makes people look younger. Black people look younger. There's no such thing as that. She does not make them look younger. That's a lie. She can't even top people off. Somebody says she only can top off the tip of people's penises. She can't even deep throat. That lady can't do nothing. That lady can't do anything, man. But he's spending a lot of money and going to see her and thinking that because they said whenever she sleeps with someone, she makes him look younger. But if that's the case, how come he look younger by now? He been sleeping with her for like what? He been going there for this about what, like a good like what 2 months a bit now? He been going to the hospital back and forth to the hospital, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to the in and out of the hospital, man. In and out of the hospital, in and out of the hospital, man. In and out of the hospital. How come he does does how come he doesn't look younger by now? How come he doesn't look young? He's never gonna. You can't sleep with someone and look younger. It can make you look older, but it's not gonna make you look younger. You can't sleep with people and thinking they're gonna look younger. Maybe it may. If you, it all depends how much times you do it over and over to that person. Maybe it may make you look like that person, but it's not gonna make you look any younger. This guy's paying beer prostitutes to sleep with, beer prostitutes this guy's paying to sleep with. Beer prostitutes, I mean beer. Lots of prostitutes this guy's paying to sleep with, yo. And she's the main one he's seen. There's this African lady in here. He thinks so he paid her too as well. He took her to church and probably slept with her. This African lady, you know? Some African lady, you know? Yeah, some African lady that lived here, you know? And Michael Mystic's brother also too slept with her daughter, you know, right downstairs.